We can baby. Imagine like
I'm on top of the world, eh? I'm on top of the world, eh?
We ain't got to do right now. Let's go my weekend. I'm living the world.
Hey!
Senju san e yokoso, my beloved people, right? Beloved people. I mean, let me just say it. Senju san e yokoso mina. Ore wa Yusuke Rafiki desu. Keria senpai.
Keria senpai.
Anyway, welcome to 1320, the coolest hangout for youth and teens that hasn't changed since the day it began, and I don't think it will.
We're still the coolest, and we are not the youngest, but we're still the coolest.
Okay, yeah. Trademark the coolest.
Yeah. The coolest, yeah.
Anyway, today is just a beautiful Sunday. Sunday afternoon for those watching on Raya TV. For those watching on YouTube, Sunday afternoon because it's like past noon, past noon. Anyway, I'm getting too technical this time. Yes, as you can see, this time we haven't planned anything, though we're still talking about schemes. We have no idea what we're going to talk about.
schemes.
No idea. Oh
alliteration.
Yes, alliteration.
Satan,
I hope you guys did your poetry sometime this week.
Please. I hope you guys did alliteration. So we will be talking about Satan schemes. Hold on. That are so surprising. Oh man, I can't think of S1s. That's what I was doing. I was thinking of S1s. Satan schemes that are so surprising in every scenario.
Such as
Such in so that.
hey. Sin no sakura.
If we stand strong.
We sin not.
I'm trying to think. There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah. It wasn't a lot of alliteration, but we tried, guys.
Sakura so no petuna kanojo. That's not alliteration.
At all. Those are two words.
It has a flow. It has a flow.
Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna talk about Satan's. So we're going to talk about Satan schemes.
Part 2.
Part 2. This is a continuation. It depends on. It's a mini series. It's a limited. No, it's not a limited series, is it?
It can be. Yes, it is a limited.
Okay,
series.
It's a limited series.
But it is
only on
somewhere.
yeah, and it can be brought by. It can be bought by Netflix for distribution. So,
I hope so.
If you guys like it, tag Netflix. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about Satan schemes and how he, much like last week, just kind of derails. Oh, I wish I'd found an S word. What's an S word for like derail? Stops.
Steers.
Oh, he steers you in the wrong direction. That's what Satan schemes do, is steer. Sorry, I'm really smart. So that's what Satan schemes do, is steer you in the wrong direction. And we have a very good example of that in the Bible. And Rafik will be reading for us.
We have examples of that.
In the Bible, we have many examples of that. We have Moses when he struck the stone. We have see. Eve when she ate the apple. Yeah. Eve when she ate the apple, but that was like last week. Adam and Eve when they ate the apple.
I'm not talking about killing Eve. We're talking about Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. What other example? Let me try to think.
Another example is come on, think.
Somebody's son when he decided to separate Judah and Israel. I can't remember who it was. Was it Rehoboam or Jeroboam? I'm not sure.
Oh, somebody who did this took the gold.
Akan.
Yes, he took the gold. He was
Akan, son of Ai.
Saul.
Son of the AI.
Saul. He
Saul.
offered the sacrifice.
Yep, when you have the sacrifice without Samuel there. See, alliterations, guys. It's
Saul,
just
Samuel.
Saul, Samuel, sacrifice. It's just there. It's right there for you to take. What else?
I found the chapter.
Oh, okay, good.
So Genesis chapter.
Genesis chapter.
15 from verse 1 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
After this, no, not as in, I'm telling you after this, as in it starts as after this. After this, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Yes, Abram. Do not be afraid, Abram. That's what they always say. I'm your shield, your very great reward. Captain America. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless, and the one who will inherit my estate is Eleazar of Damascus, who is like a servant, or so, or cousin, I don't know. And Abram said, You have given me no children, so a servant, yes, it's a servant, in my household will be my heir. Then the word of the Lord came to him, This man will not be your heir, but a son, who is your own flesh and blood, will be your heir. I mean, come on, stop repeating your words. He took him outside and said, Look up at the sky and count the stars, Lion King style, if indeed you can count them. Then he said to him, So shall your offspring be, which was a lie. Abram believed the Lord and credited to him as righteousness. He also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land and take possession of it. So this is part one of the story, where God makes a promise and it's like, you know what? This is what will happen. You have me as your shield, made of vibranium and stuff. It's your reward. And an even bigger promise, I can give you an army. Get this man a shield. I can give you offspring, like your children will be as many as the stars, like Thanos' army, as many as the stars. Anyway, so that's part one of the promise. Now let's go to, actually no, that's the whole promise. Let's go to part two of this story, which is in Genesis 16, verse 1 to 6, which is a bit shorter than the last one, by one verse. Now, Sarai, Abram's wife, had born, born, born no children, but she had an Egyptian slave named. Oh, there's a difference between Haggai and Hagar.
Yes, big difference. It's
Okay.
two different names.
Okay, so she said to Abraham, The Lord has kept me from having children. Go sleep with my slave. Perhaps I can build a family through her. Abram agreed. Abram, not Abraham. Abram agreed to what Sarai said. After Abram had been living in Canaan 10 years, his wife took an Egyptian slave, this is like a flashback, and gave her to the husband to be his wife. So he slept with her and she conceived. When she knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. Then Sarai said to Abram, You are responsible for the wrong I am suffering. My Jesus. I put my slave in your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me. Judge both of you. Your slave is in your hands, Abram said. Do with her whatever you think is best. Then Sarai mistreated her, so she fled from her. Wait. Yes, that's it. That's it. End of story. Now, we have seen how things have gone. It's like, I'm an international super spy, that thing. Like, it just goes, then the unexpected happens. Because,
Super spy.
apart from that, it's when God says, you know what, I'll give you, look at the stars. Very Lion King like. Look at the stars. If you can count them, that's how your offspring would be. And Abram was like, damn, there are many. There are many. And he would have believed it and waited till God like made it like come true. But then something happened until those documentaries where things change, like the colors shift. Like he was a good guy until yes. Sarai came up with this brilliant idea. It wasn't really brilliant, but to her it was brilliant. And as I have read, you know what happened. And well, we have that as story number one. Like now this is like actual part of the sermon. The other stories we mentioned are just in line with what you're talking about. Okay. I hope we are together. Are we together? Wait, which Joe is that? Mr. Are we together, Mr. Njagi? Yes. Anyway, help me out. Help me out. I can't be the one
Sorry, I'm
talking.
really trying hard not to say everything that I'm thinking. But so that is the first story. So we're
Yeah,
going to look at
yes,
that story
yes.
and use it to break down. Ow! Points. My shoe just slipped off and I hit my leg. That we're gonna use that to
Sorry.
break down. Thank you. We're gonna use that to break down the points for the day. So,
Point two, no.
uno. They f- they fell for their option instead of sticking with God's plan. Obviously, like, well, it doesn't make sense to me. Because if you are in a monogamous relationship and it is agreed upon that you are monogamous,
I thought we were talking about this.
oh, I'm really trying hard not to. You have no idea. Anyway, it doesn't really make sense to me. But Sarah saw it fit that
Sarai.
Sarai saw it fit
They're
that
like
that should
different
happen.
people back then.
Saw it fit that that should happen, and it happened. And then her maid was like, "Oh, bestie, I can do what you can do. So guess what? I'm the boss now." And then Sarah got mad, even though it was her idea. I think it was her idea. Who knows?
That's karma. You go against the plan, then the plan turns on you.
Exactly.
That's bad.
Right? Great plot twist. So then she scared her off. Then we know what happens. And
Scared her
becomes,
off. Really. Like,
I
boo.
guess.
Boo.
Sounds like Scooby Doo. Okay. Sorry. Sugar.
Ooh, right.
That's what Sorry.
That laugh, my goodness. I hope you guys are having fun. with
Ruby
this.
sex. So yeah, so they fell for the option instead of sticking with God's plan, which is pretty simple. A man and a woman shall leave their homes and come together as well. Like I'm not gonna go into details, but like, yeah, they fell for the option. You know, sometimes as human beings we think that we know best, and it's like, if you just gave it like a year, just give it a year, things would be better. Because I believe that Ishmael and Isaac were like a year apart. So if you're just giving it a year,
makes sense.
from this point in time when you said, oh yeah, you should.
Of which back then years were like months to them.
Exactly.
Because
So
you can find somebody is like 70 something years old, and that guy in their day, that guy is like a teenager.
yeah,
Because somebody
I
lived
guess.
to, I don't know, hundreds of years.
Yeah, exactly. So that was sus. They shouldn't have done that. Point number 2.
Point to no futatsu. They chose the easy way instead of going God's way.
See, I don't know if it was. I'm not gonna make that joke. Please just
Okay.
talk. Please just talk.
So they chose the easy way. For those who play GTA Online, you know what the easy way out is. You just leave the game. So in this case, what they did was basically ditching the plan, the original plan. They were captain. They did a captain called thing, where they make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan. So they threw away the plan, and that was the biggest mistake they ever did. Almost biggest mistake ever done. But they were forgiven in the end, and Abraham got what he was initially promised. But then it wasn't as, let me say, as wow as it would have been if they would have actually waited.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it wasn't really a good idea, but they did something. Was it victorious? Gibbe wasn't victorious.
No, Akali.
Was it Akali?
Yeah,
Gibbe.
Gibbe was Akali.
Okay, yeah, Gibbe was like, any idea is a good idea because it will lead to a better idea.
Yep.
Of
Yep.
which, in this case, it didn't work out.
At all.
So, point to
Easy,
no,
apparent.
son.
Yes. Point number 3. They ended up settling for their plan instead of going after God's promises.
Oh yes.
And that's
And we
yeah.
know what happened. Everything was just falling.
flippity floppity.
Like you see how
Hippity hoppity.
Titanic went
Bim, bim.
down. That's how it went down.
Yeah.
Because they're like, tiny iceberg. Then
Big iceberg.
it all fell. In this case, it was like, you know what? Have my slave girl. Then, oh, now she despises me. So everything is just, and they had to abandon ship, which was, no, that's a very very bad example to use. Anyway,
I am very fighting for my life right now. You have no idea.
Well, the thing is, them settling for their own issue instead of waiting for God's like plan
Yeah.
was the same thing about Moses with the water, right?
Yeah.
Because God is like, speak to the rock.
Speak to the rock. He was like, oh hell no, I'm gonna beat this rock up.
Moses, if you're watching this, please tell me that was your voice. Tell me she did a very good impression of you. I hope she did. Maropate Moses had an Australian accent.
What did that even sound like?
Well, the water was coming out, so I decided to heal with the stick.
I decided to hit it was. Oh gosh.
And now the people of Israel. then God is like, but Moses, I told you to speak to the rock. What
I
do you
did.
What do you mind?
What do you mind, mate? I did.
This is just too much fun.
Oh no,
Yes.
but like me imagining that Moses was like, I'm about to beat this rock.
Wait. No, no, it's an excuse for Moses to actually hit the rock. Like, I wanted to speak to the rock, but a kangaroo came from and stood in front of the rock. So I was trying to get the kangaroo. Then the kangaroo left.
So now with the accent that I'm talking about, you could be like, well, see, I wanted to talk to the rock, but then, right, this animal came out of absolutely nowhere,
Okay,
and I just couldn't.
in America.
Yeah, I just could not speak to the rock, so I just decided to.
Welcome to 1320, everybody.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Oh,
So they settled for God's plan.
they settled for their own
They settled
plan
for their own plan.
instead of chasing God's plan.
Raggy.
Wait. we can give one example of somebody who actually followed God's plan, like to the latter, and that was my doppelganger, Joseph.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was thinking about Joshua.
My name Joshua.
Doppelganger means look-alike.
Okay, my previous life
Namesake.
mate. Yeah, something like that. He was told like he was given a
Everyone I had.
vision about the family and all like bowing before him. He would have been like, you know what, God said it, I'm going to make it happen. But no, he didn't like make it happen on his own. Things like gradually
jail,
brought him
man.
up. Yeah, like everything was sort of in line. Like it was part of the timeline. Like for him to be sold, for him to go to jail, for him to be
I once did a sermon on this.
for him to be sold, for him to be at Potiphar's house, for him to go to jail, for him to interpret that guy's dream,
Yeah.
for him to be forgotten by that guy as soon as he gets out, then for him to be remembered years later. And voila.
So yeah, that's that.
Oh wow, that's actually
That's
it.
literally it. We have nothing else to say.
Mm.
We don't know how long we've been doing this for. Well, we've laughed a lot. And I've just been trying not to make really bad jokes. But yeah. Are you going to pray or should I pray?
You should.
I should pray because
You
I
should.
haven't spoken. I've just been laughing. Let us bow our heads and pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you that you've blessed us and that you've taken care of us. Thank you for bringing us here. We thank you for Rafiki and I. We thank you that you've taken care of us. We thank you that we had the energy and the strength to sit down and record 1320 today. And we thank you for that. We also thank you for the team that works on 1320. We thank you so much, dear God, for the work that they've put in and even for the work that they're going to continue to put in. Thank you so much for them. We thank you for Hamadi, and we thank you for the blessing that you brought into his life, even in absentia. I pray that you bless him, that he will enjoy life. I pray that you'll take care of each and every one of us, even on this beautiful Sunday. Help us to have a great rest of the week. I pray for every single person that is watching 1320. May you bless them, take care of them, be with them, minister to them, provide for them, and help them not to settle for the easy way out, for an option that is not your plan, and that they will not settle for anything less than the perfection that you have prepared for them. In Jesus' name I do pray and believe.
Amen.